First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibler. As always, appreciate you joining us for our show. We live stream on YouTube, Facebook, our website, and our apps, so always places to watch this live. But of course, you can always watch the segments later on any of those platforms as well. And we cover a lot of segments, a lot of topics. But right now, we're talking about a K-9 unit out in Clackamas County. So we're actually going to play my trip out there to the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, where I met with Sergeant Erik McGlothin and the team to talk about Yukon. Yukon is the K-9 unit I am discussing. He's the K-9, and Yukon is trained for something very specific, and that is to detect electronic devices, specifically electronic storage devices and some chemicals that are given off by them. I wanted to go out and find out more about this, about Erik, about the unit, about what they do and why that's all needed, and that's what we went out and did. So we're going to go ahead and play this right now. I'll join you back afterward, but we're gonna play this where I'm out there at the actual Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. We talked to Erik, we talked to Yukon, well, we pet Yukon, and we get to see a demonstration of how it all works. So let's go to that now. Erik, just to start off, could you tell everybody just what you do here at the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, what your title is?
Sure. I'm a sergeant with the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. I'm assigned to our Uniform Patrol Division, and then I am also assigned as a K-9 handler, and I supervise the Sheriff's Office K-9 unit.
And how long have you been involved in the K-9 unit?
I've been with the K-9 unit as a handler since 2012. And I started training with them and decoying and kind of learning back in the end of 99, 2000.
And I just want everybody to know, we're going to address Yukon sitting right here in just a second, but I just want to find out about that. So, you know, for you, what was it that made you want to get involved with the K-9 unit to begin with?
Well, it was actually when I was in grade school, I wanted to drive an ambulance and have a car with lights, and then we had a career day at our school, and a officer brought a K-9 in, and I was like, I can have my favorite animal and I can have a car with lights. And so that was kind of my first initial interest. Then I went down a couple different paths, and then ultimately when I was 18 I got back involved with the Sheriff's Office as a cadet, and then started training with their unit, and it just kind of went from there.
So you knew as a kid, this is pretty much
it was an interest for sure early on.
Yeah,
and then it kind of came to fruition a little later.
So what is it like, you know, once you have, you know, your partner, I assume is what you would call, your partner, you know, you form that bond, like what is it like going out with them?
It's amazing. I mean, it's anybody that has pets, I think, has that kind of special connection with their dog. And this dog, I spend more time with him than my family. I mean, he's with me at home. They live with you. They live with your family. Then they come to work with you. I spend a lot of time with him. So, you know, the people that are in sports and different things with their animals spend a lot of time with those dogs as well. But with him, it's like we're training every night. We're training as a whole unit every week, and then we go through a whole dog school. So I go and I live with him for 30 to 60 days, you know, and we go through a whole class together, 40 hours a week. And
oh wow!
It's pretty intense and in depth, and then obviously you add multiple years onto that, and it just kind of compounds the connection. So it's my favorite thing for sure.
Yeah, and so you're pretty much 24 hours a day you're with him.
Yeah,
going around. And so let's talk about Yukon, who is right here, and Yukon's a little unsure, I think, of the camera. But tell us about Yukon.
I first downstairs on our first floor, but it really affected our business operations.
So the Sheriff's Office, we have 6 patrol dogs that are dual purpose. Means that they work patrol function, can find people, can find evidence, and then they also have some cross-train detection thing, being either narcotics or in his case electronics.
And the electronic side, so what's the tech, is it electronic?
Yeah, so it's going to be the electronic storage device.
Electronic
ESD
storage device,
dog,
okay.
Yeah. And he basically can find any real digital storage device, so micro SD chips, thumb drives, hard drives, cell phones, anything that can really store data. He's trained on 2 different odors, tantalum and TPPO,
okay.
Which are found in the storage devices that he can locate.
So a couple of questions with that. I guess one, how do you train him on that?
Yeah, so any detection dog, for the most part, can be trained on any particular odor. So there's truffle dogs that can go find truffles. People will train their dogs to find antlers, and you just take this odor, and as you see, he's got that ball right there.
Yeah.
So any dog that has any sort of like play drive will want to find that ball. And so what we'll do is we'll pair it up with an odor, and then when he sniffs it and shows interest, we'll throw the ball, and he'll be like, oh wow, and you do that just a lot, and then the dog will start smelling that odor. Then you go hide the odor, and then as the dog's going, he'll start locating that odor, and he'll be expecting his ball, and so you just keep rewarding him for finding that, and then you can add multiple odors on. I mean, that's really simplified, but that's basically what it is you're just rewarding the dog for finding his odor. Some people use food drive, and they'll reward him with food. His is toy-based, and then his alert is just his natural. He'll freeze up on the odor when he'll like kind of just lock up on it, and he'll usually check in with you, be like, it's right here, and then he'll put his nose to wherever it is, and then I throw the toy in, and then he's happy, and
he gets the toy as his reward, and you find what it is. That's pretty amazing. And from what I was reading too, is he from the Netherlands? Is that?
Yeah. So he was born in the Netherlands, grew up in Germany. My last dog, Grim, was a Dutch Shepherd, and he was raised and trained by the same guy over there. And so we got him at about 18 months. Grim came over at like 3.5 years old, and so it's just more training, and he was a sport dog over there first, and so he came over with kind of that sport patrol side, and then we just added the detection on along with it.
Now you're saying sport patrol. What do you mean by that?
In Europe, there's a few major dog sports. So like French ring, there's Schutzen, and then like KPTV, which is his kind of foundation, which is the World Dutch Police Trials, is what kind of that goes through. So.
Oh, okay, all right. And so talking about, specifically the, hi buddy, talking about the electronic devices that, I think one of the first questions that a lot of people have is why? Why is it that electronic devices are such a big thing that we have a canine unit for?
Sure. Yeah. So nowadays, as you can see, it's like sniffing your cell phone.
Yeah, that's my phone in there. You found it.
So nowadays, technology is kind of becoming everything, and common cases that you will typically see are going to be like the human trafficking and child crimes would be in like photos and various things like that. And so those are very things that are easy to hide, and a human can miss those things. Some cases in the past kind of show the search of the place under a search warrant, and they locate some things, or maybe not everything, and then they bring the dog through, and the dog alerts to like a power outlet on the wall, and they open it up, and there was a hard drive installed on the wall. People go through great lengths to try and hide the things that they don't want to be found, and so the dogs can help locate those things. And so with the electronics and how small like micro SD chips can be, thumb drives and things like that, it makes it really difficult for humans to just find it. Like, we will never smell that out, so we have to just luck out and find it where it's hiding. So he can kind of help narrow down, and then it saves on like search time typically, and yeah. So.
Yeah. So he can smell something as small as a micro SD card.
Yeah. For the certification, so he has to certify each year, and then during trainings and stuff, I try and go below what we have to do for the certification. So the certification is usually 5 of those micro SD chips, but I will go and hide 1 or 2 depending on where we're at, if we're outside, inside, and there's a lot of difficulties with it just because like it has to sit for a little while, and it's not like narcotics odor, which is pluming out, and sometimes you and I can smell it. The dog is really smelling just a fraction of a
tiny little, Look in the middle. I mean, selfishly, I just lost a micro SD card at my house yesterday. So I'm like, I would totally have to use Yukon for this. Yeah, I cannot find it. This is, it's just pretty amazing. So he's 3 right now. So where is he at in like training? Is he fully trained out there?
He's trained and certified. He's still like puppy-ish stage, and he's still, as you can kind of tell, he's like unsure with the cameras and new things that he hasn't seen before. It doesn't take him long to warm up. So like downstairs when we met, he was kind of like, who's this? And now if I let go of the leash, he's probably going to end up in your lap. So it doesn't take him long to figure out like what's going on. So he will get better as we continue to train and we keep our training consistent. He'll continue to just improve and get quicker and get more efficient. So,
What's one of the biggest challenges with the K9 unit for you?
On the detection side, it's probably what most people will say is like trust your dog. You always want to try to like lead where you think it's going to be, but the dog's nose is better than my assumptions.
Right.
Yeah. So the patrol stuff, there's always different things there too, right? I mean, like I said, we live with them and everything, so we're very close. They're not just a tool that we have to find things. They're our family and they're our best friends.
Yeah.
We're really close with them. So I mean, those are definitely some tough things when you get into certain situations where it's it can be scary for the handler, let alone the dog, probably, right? So
that's your buddy.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most important thing for like the public to know about what you do here, especially with Yukon in particular?
I think for the general public, I enjoy engaging because most people either don't know or they have misconceptions, and I think the best thing that the public can do is reach out and ask questions, and then the best thing we can do is take the time to answer those questions. So what we always tell the kids, we'll do demonstrations at preschools to junior highs to senior centers, and what we always tell people is just like, hey, just because he's on a leash and he's well trained, it's like you still don't walk up and just pet him. You always want to ask, and that goes for any dog, whether it's a law enforcement dog or not. But yeah, I think engaging in conversation and asking the questions and things like this is a great way to kind of educate everybody. And we do demonstrations, so if there's big group functions or things going on in our area, we'll try and facilitate and go out there and send a handler or two out to answer and do kind of meet and greets and things like that. So,
well, speaking of demonstration, do you think we could do one here to see if you can?
Yeah,
sort something out.
We can see if we can get him focused up here. He's rolling around right now.
All right, let's do it. Hidden in here in the room. We're at the sheriff's office right now, but here in the room somewhere is a thumb drive. Okay, and we're going to watch Yukon in action. Yukon does not know where they are right now. Erik hid them somewhere in here, and I don't even know where they are. So we're going to watch how this all works. So this would be like you're out on site, and you just tell him.
Yeah, I just tell him find it, and then he'll take off and find it. Good check. And then, so you'll see his, so as a handler, my job is to make sure that he covers the areas that I want him to check.
So you bring him over there and kind of give him the clue.
Here, as you can kind of see, he was wanting to run over here, but I want him to kind of check this corner, so I'll hold here and let him kind of work it out. If he misses an area that I really want him to check real quick, and I don't think his nose is getting on it, like here, I'll be like, hey, check. You go. Check it. And he'll check it for me, and then we'll move on.
And how does he know what it is that he's looking for?
He just knows those two odors he gets that toy for. So if he starts smelling one of them, he's like that phone. He's like, check. If he starts smelling one of them, so in a second here, you should see a change in behavior. Find it. Like right there's that snap track. So he's gonna hold.
Oh yeah, he's holding down.
He's frozen. He's looking for his toy.
So he knows that he found it. And he's like, "Where's my toy?"
Yeah, and then right in the track is that USB drive. So, good boy, Letters, you got it.
Wow.
You got it. And that one's kind of visual, like we would probably be able to walk in and eventually see it, but even in this size of a room, and it being out like that,
oh yeah,
it's gonna be a long time for a human to sit there and find it. The dogs do get tired, so this is one of the most difficult things for them in the sense of like cardio and their lung capacity is sniffing for a while. So them breathing and then closing their mouth and breathing all that through their olfactory is going to be exhausting over time. So that's another thing that we as the handlers do is we monitor him and his temperature to make sure that we don't overwork him either.
Gotcha. When he needs a break, he gets a break.
The Malinois typically will like just keep going because they are so intense. He's already trying to work.
All right, so there we go, going out there to the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. So a couple of notes there. There was a little bit of a sound issue. That's from an edit. I'll take credit for that, where we did miss the breed of Yukon, and it is he is a Belgian Malinois and Dutch Shepherd mix. So that's the combo there. You can kind of definitely see the Shepherd within that. And also, Erik and the team told me afterward that Yukon is the first certified dog for electronic storage device detection in the state of Oregon, the first one that's actually certified for it. So huge first right there. So all around a great experience. I really appreciate them having me out and getting to learn more about it. Yes, Yukon is very fluffy in person, and I did pet him. So I'll say that from behind the scenes. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining us here today too. We really appreciate you being here on Fox 12 Now. And yeah, really interesting. So make sure that you drop in any comments or questions that you have. We'll see if we can get those answered as well. Coming up here, we have more though at 2 p.m. will be, if you're watching live, 2 p.m., the Fox 12 Weather Podcast video edition. And I hear it's about 50 minutes this week. So you've got Mark Nelson and the team. I'm not sure who all is there. I believe Jeff Forgeron may be back. I know a lot of people have been missing Jeff Forgeron. So I believe Jeff is back. Maybe with a beard, maybe not with a beard, and probably Katie and Camilla too. So all of that's going to be coming up here at 2 p.m. So you'll definitely want to come back, whatever platform you're on, and join us then. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to email me, fox12now, fox12now at kptv.com. And thank you, everybody, for joining me. We'll sign off for right now. I'll be back soon. I'm Greg Nibler. This is Fox 12 Now.